But yes, let's get going into UFC 304. We had Belal Muhammad versus Leon Edwards was the main event. Look, I wasn't looking forward to this one very much. I'll tell you right now. Not the biggest Leon Edwards fan.
Really?
Yeah, not the biggest Leon Edwards fan. Not because I think he's a bad guy. I just kind of think he caught Usman on his way out, getting a little bit older.
You're a Balal believer.
No, I don't like Belal either. That's why going into this, I was like, that's cool, I guess. Really looking forward to the co-main event. Really looking forward to Patty the Batty. So this one was whatever for me. You know what? But did this fight pretty much go exactly how you thought it was going to go?
I didn't know how this was going to go. I was
Really?
looking forward to this fight because everyone was like, oh, it's a foregone conclusion. Their first fight, Leon was kind of piecing them up. And we don't really need to see where it was going. It was looking like he was going to finish Balal. That's what a lot of people were saying. In my opinion, Balal has some of the best game planning in MMA right now. And you see it when he fights a striker, he wrestles him. When he fights another strong grappler, he beats him up on the feet. Look at how he did Sean Brady, right? Everyone's like, well, Sean Brady's got crazy jiu-jitsu. Balal needs to be careful taking him down. And he just fucked him up with his hands, So, he's very good at game planning and fighting a specific fighter. He was losing that first Leon Edwards fight, which, in my opinion, if you're a good game planner, that's almost better for the rematch. You know what I mean? It's almost like a blessing that the eye poke happened and they didn't continue with that fight because now Balal knows what doesn't work against Leon Edwards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he can then come into the next fight a different fighter.
And Leon probably thinks I figured it out, so let's just carry it over. Carry it over to the next fight.
Yeah. Ganscout says, I'm glad Balal won. Leon got one Hail Mary KO and made finger guns his whole personality. Yeah, the headshot dead. But look, for me, that's why I was interested in this fight. And you can go through our Reddit history. I argued with some people about this. I said, I'm glad this fight's happening. People were hating on it. I was glad it was happening. I thought, look, do I think this fight is going to be a banger? No. That's not what I thought going into this. But not every fight needs to be a banger. Some fights I like just because they answer questions that I have. And this was that type of matchup for me. And it did answer some questions that I had. It was a fun, experiment fight for me. You know what I mean? They don't all have to be, Stephen Bonner versus Forrest Griffin. We had some sloppy bangers on this card. You get a mix of everything.
Oh, no, don't talk to Dana about this card. He was not very happy about this card. And
before we get into this fight, press conference, King Green, Bobby Green, he's like, hey, what if if you say it's the biggest card of the year or whatever, after 300, let's make the bonuses 100K. And Dana's like, oh, okay. But they always do that game. Now, every press conference, they ask for higher bonuses, and they say, okay. Post-fight press conference, this is my rant. We'll get it out of the way early. Post-fight press conference, Dana goes, oh, this is the last fucking time I do that. We had 7 straight decisions on this card, and you think the more money didn't incentivize anybody to kill it, to go for the kill. So why am I going to do that again? And he's so close. He's so close. And if anybody in that press conference had a little bit of a spine instead of being scared to get blacklisted, where half these guys in there probably they're UK media. So it's like, dude, you're not going to even, a lot of them don't come to the States. So it's like, you could get banned. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? But in that moment, God, can someone just say, so more money doesn't incentivize them to go for the kill. So maybe we get rid of the show/win money. Splitting their paycheck for the win bonus is to incentivize them to go for it. But you literally just said more money on the line didn't incentivize anybody. Can we please make the connection, Dana? You stupid son of a bitch.
Whoa. Hey, dude.
No, fuck him. Anybody who hits their wife in public, they could get it.
That's for sure.
So
that's fair.
That is fair. Me off. There's all this talk of they walk themselves into corners, and if they applied the same logic to what they're saying that benefits them then to stuff that they say about other things in the past, they'd realize that they have no argument. I hate that shit. I hate it.
Yep.
Same thing with Joe Rogan when he's talking about the same exact thing with Francis on his podcast last week, where he's like, I don't think the show win money should do anything. It doesn't benefit the fighter. I don't think it incentivizes anything. And Francis is like, who does it benefit? He's like, I don't think it benefits anyone. And Francis is like, what about the promotion? And he's like, I don't think it benefits them. And you're like, Joe, come on.
It benefits him financially.
That cognitive dissonance, dude, from the people at the top when everybody knows it's just so that they could pay less. So stop trying to give it a reason of it incentivizes the fighters to try harder because they get more money if they win. They want to win no matter what.
Yeah.
No matter what, they want to win.
I think Francis said it too, right? Like they get to that point by winning.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like it pisses me off when they play ignorant and they pretend like they don't make that connection, but they make that connection. They know.
Yeah.
But don't treat us like idiots. You know what I mean?
Ganscow saying bonus base should be raised regardless. They've been 50K for so long. Absolutely. Inflation, man.
At this point, they're making less than they were 5 years ago. Off
and George says, Will, you have an acid tongue.
Damn. I just fucking hate that shit, dude. I hate it.
That's so funny. Well, hey, back to the fight.
Shout out Ghost real quick before. What's up, guys? Probably one of the worst cards in a year of bad cards.
It was not very good. There
was some stuff sprinkled throughout, but damn, not great.
Overall, I think part of it too was the hype leading up to, right?
Yeah, and we've been rating cards lately. What would you rate this out of 10? The whole event, not just the main card, prelims, everything.
Probably a 6.2, maybe.
6.2. I think we gave a 6.1 to the last Apex card, so I think I'm gonna have to go a little bit higher than that. I'm gonna go 6.8. Because I like the Arnold Allen fight a lot. There were some fights on here that I did really enjoy.
Okay, that's fair.
But it doesn't break a 7, in my opinion.
No, not a 7, not at all. All right, so that first round.
Yeah, let's move on. Actually, we're 10 minutes in. We haven't even talked about the fight yet.
Muhammad Belal gets what I thought is pretty easy takedown on Edwards. Edwards gets up pretty quickly, and I thought to myself, oh, okay, like maybe that builds some confidence.
Probably did.
Maybe that builds some confidence for Leon, and he's thinking, I don't have to be so worried about the takedown because if I'm taken down, then I can get back up quickly, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then second round comes around. That's when Muhammad picks up Edwards, spikes him straight on his head. Look at that. Click by click. Go back a couple clicks. Boom. Up. Slams him right on his head. And it seems like it was late when Edwards thinks like, I'm going to post with his arm so I don't land on my head.
Yeah. It also kind of froze him for a second, huh?
Yeah.
There was a split second where I thought he was out, and I was like, uh-oh. Not a good look. That's bad. You never want to be in this position. Well,
unless you're
never want to be in Leon's position.
Breakdancing. If you're breakdancing, maybe head spins, really cool.
If you're Balal, you do want to be in this position.
Yes.
Very good position for Balal.
Hilarious.
What I really liked. Well, do you want to let's do this. Let's just carry through the fight. We'll summarize kind of how the fight progressed, and then we can pick out things that we liked about it. How about that?
Sure.
Let's keep going then, because you were going through the whole fight.
Yeah, no. Third round, I think, was when Belal was in most danger. When Edwards ended up taking Muhammad's back, threatened for a majority of the round, close to 3 minutes that Leon had, right? Taking Belal's back. Couldn't really make anything happen to that. Fourth round, it's a lot of the same, actually, right?
Yeah. Well, that time it was Belal. They were trading backpack rounds.
Yes. No? yes, going back and forth. But I believe it was Edwards that reverses it, right? With like 30 seconds left.
Well, of the fifth, right? Or the
fourth. You're right.
Yeah.
That was in the fifth. It was 40 seconds left.
And then they're like, I'm like, dude, you're not gonna like disengage, man. Disengage. He reversed it, ends up in his guard. I'm like, disengage, get up, because you're not gonna finish this. You need to finish, and you're not gonna get it in 30 seconds in his guard. And then he was like, I might though, because he started throwing these elbows, and it was the most significant damage outside of the slam. The most significant damage of the fight was those elbows at the end, because he fucked him up for 30 seconds. He fucked him up. Dude,
as soon as he landed that first elbow, you just saw blood just gush out right away. Look at that bloody mess. Damn. You would have thought that he was in an absolute war. If this was the picture you saw, you're like, oh my God, this must have been a barn burner, absolute war, 5 rounds. But no.
Yeah. No. Instead, you look at Dana's face in this photo, and you're like, wait a second, was it not a barn burner?
Look at his face in the background. He's so blah.
He's so pissed, dude.
Oh my God.
Pissed.
He's like, I can't believe I'm gonna have to put a belt around this guy's waist right now.
Yeah, and then he did, and he didn't look happy about that either.
No, he did not.
But Balal gets the win, 48-47, I think, on 2 scorecards, 49-46 on the third scorecard. Leon won 3 rounds if you compile all the judges. On one scorecard, he won round 1. On one, he won 3 on all judges' scorecards, and then on another one, he won round 5. So there's an argument for some people that he won 3 rounds, 1, 3, and 5. I don't agree with that, but I guess there's an argument as seeing how judges gave him those rounds. But it didn't load up correctly on the scorecards for him to get the win. Belal gets it. Excellent game plan. Kind of a weird performance from Leon. Ghost says, so we can actually talk about maybe a little bit of the little details of the fight now. Maybe that's a good formula for the show. What do you guys think in the chat, where we summarize the fight and then we go back in? Because sometimes I think we get derailed talking about a fight where we will get into a little detail halfway through the fight and then wrap up real quick at the end of the fight. Maybe we just do a quick summary of the fight and then we start picking out the things that we like, the talking points of it.
Yeah, I'm down for anything, man.
We explore it. Maybe the show's constantly evolving. You know? Yes, Ghost says, my goodness, that picture of Belal eating that body kick, he still reaches and parries for any left-sided strike. Yeah, he has real issues. If you look at the analysis side of MMA media going into this fight, Leon Edwards is a analyst darling because of the little things he does, the little positions where he outpositions people in situations where a lot of people take for granted. And you saw that in this fight where he gets that takedown up against the fence where he got the leg drag. He isolated that one leg. Just really cool little things that he would do, little trips. They didn't always work, but everybody on the analyst side is talking about how Belal does not see shots coming from the left side. And Leon's a very good southpaw. So it's like, all right.
Is that his lazy eye? No, his lazy eye is the right side. Never mind.
I don't know, dude. What if the other one was the lazy eye and the whole time he was just looking off at something else?
Oh man, you're right. I've been looking at it all wrong.
Yeah. So is Belal. But this fight, he was able to negate that a little bit. And he was the first a lot. He's a reactionary fighter. A lot of times he gets hit and then he's like, I gotta get one back. This time he was first a lot. Leon would switch to that cross guard with his lead side. Belal immediately read that and threw the uppercut right through it. That was awesome.
Yep.
Landed he did
flush too.
Yeah, it was clean. He did a very good job of just throwing straight punches, the jab. Instead of just running at people, he was actually running at Leon. He was entering with the jab to push Leon back. He had Leon up against the fence for the majority of this fight.
The jab looked fantastic too, man. Very quick.
Nice, dude. Which in the open stance isn't normally the greatest weapon. I mean, jab's always important, but in the open stance, usually the rear hand is slotted better than the jab. But he did a good job of really getting Leon to the fence with punches instead of trying to force that position. And he really did set it up well. And Leon was a little maybe complacent. I thought the first round, Leon was doing a really good job with that body kick, the southpaw body kick. His knees to the body in that first round were fantastic because that same angle, he'd either throw the kick to the body or he'd throw that knee in the clinch. He was stabbing him with the knees. Real quick, too, David, shout out David. There needs to be a new rule where in case certain time passed on the ground without any activity, they should make them stand up instead of laying there for a whole round. Ruined almost 3 rounds. There is a rule for that, but very hard to implement it when someone's on someone's back.
Yes. That's the thing. When you're in such a dominant position like that, kind of hard. Which organizations, the ones that when they get a takedown, they have a specific amount of time to get a submission or else they stand back up automatically?
I don't know.
There's an organization like that. Man, I want to say that after they take them down, they have like a minute or something like that on the ground. And then if nothing happens, they stand back up. I got to research that, figure it out and see exactly.
If anybody knows in the chat, let us know.
Yeah, for sure.
It's definitely interesting. Yeah, Ghost Will on point about Leon being an analyst darling, but he also annoys us because the way he doesn't push his advantages. Yeah, I don't know if it's like maybe it's like a superiority complex, maybe where he also knows that he's so high level, and maybe he thinks that he can coast a little bit. Like it has such an advantage over people that he doesn't need to push it, and then that catches up to you. You know what I mean? Like
I don't know.
Like I know I didn't realize you were such a Leon hater.
I'm not a Leon hater. It's just like you see people like Usman. You think a lot of other champions out there. And you're like, dude, I could see why they're a champion, right? I see Leon Edwards. Yes, he's high level, but I never thought he would have a long reign. I never thought that he's really beloved by a lot of folks. I don't know, man. I just he doesn't strike me as somebody that was going to be holding the title for very long.
I thought if he got, I don't know. It's also tough this time for welterweight. Is tough because you finally do have guys like we're out of this Usman, Colby, Masvidal fucking swamp of dog shit. And I'm not saying Usman's dog shit, but just that whole
take it easy, man.
I like Usman a lot actually, but that whole Colby Masvidal slow down the division, title shots that aren't warranted. We're kind of moving. We're finally past that. It was not fun for me.
I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed the first Usman Colby fight. The second one was pretty good actually too. But outside of that, everything else was
knocked down Masvidal. That was fun.
Horrible. I mean, yeah, but it didn't. It shouldn't have even happened in the first place. That fight shouldn't have even happened. It was kind of like a wasted title defense, even though the knockout was cool. But
super cool.
We're in this position now where we do have guys like Shavkat Rakhmonov who are coming. You know what I mean? Like, even if Leon got past Belal, Leon versus Shavkat is also a very dangerous fight, dude. Like, so yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I ever thought he would have like a long reign, but I did think he had potential to. I think he's a very complete fighter.
Shavkat Rakhmonov, dude, the boogeyman. Who wants to fight that guy right now?
Yeah, Belal, dude.
We'll see.
Belal could have said, let's do a rematch with Leon for the trilogy, but instead he said no. So they're gonna feed him to Shavkat, dude. That's gonna be a tough fight for him.
Actually, you know what? He's gonna give him the rematch in 3 years. He said.
Yeah, which is fine. They're talking about doing. They're talking about doing Ian Gary versus Leon, and then probably Shavkat versus Belal, which I think that makes sense.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Makes sense.
I like it.
Ian Gary versus Leon has potential to be another analysis feast, but a boring fight.
Yeah, because past Ian Machado, Gary, you have Gilbert Burns, Jack Della Maddalena, Kobe, Shavkat Rakhmonov, of course, our champion now, Balal, and Kamaru Usman is still number one.
Kamaru's number one. Like, we gotta. What are we doing here? All right. Ghost says, I would describe Leon as a paradoxical style that is unique style and should theoretically finish people, but doesn't because of his lack of urgency.
Yes. That's a good way to put it. Yes. And it seems like the only time that his urgency really starts picking up is when his coach gets in his face and he starts telling him, come on, son. Come on. Do you want me to stop the fight? And it's like, well, maybe try that in the first round. And see if maybe he starts off with urgency in the first round and carries it throughout the entire fight.
I do think he was urgent in the first round. Rewatching that first round, he was urgent. He was landing shots. The body kick was there. The knees to the body were fantastic. He was urgent when he got taken down. He got back up
second
quickly.
through fourth.
I think Balal, dude. I think it was more of a testament to Balal than it is a knock on Leon. I think Balal really showed a different game than that first fight, and I think Leon was like, fuck, he got stuck a little bit. It also was 4 a.m, which is not great. And you could argue, if you're a Leon fanboy, you could argue that benefits the non-UK fighters, because they're coming over and their body might be, 4 a.m. in the UK. They might be like, yeah, this is whatever it is in America. I don't even fucking know. But for the UK fighters, it is super early in the morning. But maybe they've adjusted. It's just, it's a shitty argument, to be honest. But,
I don't know.
But yeah, it's I think
a hot mess of a card.
Yeah, it really was a hot mess. But I do like what Balal did in this fight. I thought the uppercut to that cross guard was so fucking slick, dude. I thought that was so cool. And the
Yeah,
slams
and
were
and then he
fantastic.
kept the cross guard up too after he got
Yeah.
hit with that uppercut, steps back, and then Belal throws a feint, and the cross guard came right down. And I was like, yeah, there you go. There's a way to kill that guard real quick.
There's some things that Leon definitely could have done. One being circle would have been nice. Because Belal would enter with that jab, and Leon would just move straight back, and you're like, ah. In the 5th round, he was starting to circle, and he would mix it up a little bit, and he wouldn't be up against the fence. But man, Belal was just freezing him up against the fence. He was just, I think, Belal did such a good job setting up his takedowns and not throwing punches just to set up the takedowns. Like, he was actually striking out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He wasn't just like, I'm going to shoot, because then it's a lot easier to defend. His timing was great. I was impressed. It's not the most exciting fight, but I was impressed.
No, dude, and you know what? Ragdolled him quite a bit in most of the rounds.
Yeah,
it was really impressive. Super
impressive. Cool sweeps from Leon. Leon was trying to get that half guard sweep where, the guard sweep where he opens his guard, shoots the grapevine with his right leg, gets the underhook on the left side, and was trying to sweep with that. Eventually, he didn't get to sweep with it, but he used it to create some separation and was able to get to his feet with that. There was some cool stuff in this fight, but largely entertainment-wise, not the best.
Yes.
Kind of crazy that this was the main event over the heavyweight title fight just because it was interim.
Yes. Oh my God. Crazy. You know what? Should we just get into the co-main event?
Let's move on.